The lighting should be blue for this video, just letting you guys know ahead of time. Alright, so it's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. I'm going to continue with this video segment that I've been doing. This is take 3, by the way, you guys. Continuing with this video segment that I've been doing on seeing if basically any of these decks can break a 6 negate board. Take 1 and take 2, I just didn't like my energy in it and the words I was saying, so I decided to redo it. And on this one, basically, we're going to be using Unchained. Now, the thing with breaking boards like this, where it's like more than 2 interruptions, people will rely on cards like Dark Ruler No More, and basically they have to draw it or they kind of just auto lose. But with these videos, I'm trying to see if these decks are capable of doing it more or less with their archetype specific cards. So learning how to properly navigate through these multiple interruption boards and learning what chronological order and sequencing of playing your cards, saving your best for last, debates first, things of that nature. So it's going to be helpful for me and helpful for you. Obviously, I'm learning more about my decks as going, because I don't always get a chance to play my decks against a pendulum deck that can put up boards like this. So it's always nice, but at the same time, Adamantipator's and Eldritch can put up boards similar to this, but I don't have any of those, and this is an in real life video. This is what I do have access to right now, so we're going to go ahead and get started with this. Like I said, no Dark Ruler No More, and no Spear Mode, no Lava Golem, and no Super Poly. Those cards just make it a little bit too easy. Kaijus are fair, evenly match is fair for these kinds of videos. If you want to try this out at home, you can use going second cards like those and Mind Control. Cards that are kind of 1-for-1s, but you don't want like a 1-for-3, even though it helps you. It doesn't really necessarily help you to become a better player. If you just draw Dark Ruler No More every time, you're never going to really learn how to break a board just without it. So people are kind of making that their crutch, and I'm not about that. So let's go ahead and get this power shuffle first. The hand that I drew before I power shuffle in the previous, I drew an Aruha, I drew Sarama, I drew Abomination's Prison, I drew the Trap, and then I drew Jizukiru and Archvenus Centric. Now that hand is absolutely capable, I believe, of getting through probably the entire board, but what I'm going to do is power shuffle, and then we'll see what hand I get this time. Because this deck is really good. You know, Unchained actually is a strong going second deck, and when it comes to playing against combo decks, this deck is like thriving in that. Now, cards like Lightning Storm can really help against back row heavy decks and evenly match, but honestly, I will say because Unchained can actually grind and they float a lot, and even their link monsters replace themselves with hand advantage, it's not really that tough playing against back row heavy decks. I played this deck a lot, and I mean a lot online, even in ranked matches, and it's just kind of been my go-to. I really like Unchained. It's really cool, it's affordable, and it's a great fun deck, and its approach is really different. It's kind of like, they float like Yang Zanes, but it's very aggressive, and it has some elements like muskets where it has good spot removal, but it just, overall, it's different, is really what I want to say. It's just a different deck. But I like that, you know, I like that Konami's making these decks that have unique playstyles, you know, unlike other decks. Not literally every deck, but unlike most decks, you know, instead of just like, oh, it's just another combo deck. We have Jizukiru, Aruha. Wow, isn't that funny? What the? I was going to say, what the heck? I drew almost the same exact hand, but that's 3 cards right there. That's crazy. And then Rakia. Because I was saying the last hand I drew was, it was Eccentric, Jizukiru, Aruha, Abomination's Prison, Sarama, and then, the Trap. This hand could do it too, absolutely. So we obviously have 2 Kaijus. The first thing I'm going to do is obviously Kaiju. It's just dealing with the biggest threat. So I would say, because I have Jizukiru in my hand as well, I can take care of 2 problems at the same time, which is going to be really, really strong for me. And also in terms of running over, because I have access to my Unchained engine and I can summon out Unchained Abominable Soul, I can actually bring out that 3k beater to swing over, you know, the Endymion. So I can pretty much take care of dang near the whole board just off of the 2 Kaijus and a Prison plus a Twin. But the Desires is like, wow, that's sweet. So first thing I would do is give my opponent the smaller Kaiju. So I would Kaiju Vortex because it's an Omni Negate. This can just be dealt with. So Vortex is gone. Then I'm going to special summon my Jizukiru. And I would say next, I would probably just activate the pot just to bait the Endymion, so then I could just use Jizukiru to take care of another threat. So I'll activate pot. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And just food for thought, if you're playing against a going second deck, you don't want to let draw cards resolve because they could easily draw into that Super Poly or that Dark Ruler No More. You never know. So for me personally, it's really, really hard to not negate a draw card because if they're playing a deck that's catered to going second, you're obviously going to draw more going second cards like Mind Control, and then it's going to get baited either way. So I absolutely negate Desires. That's just me. But 3, 6, 9, 10. So obviously the cost has been paid. Obviously I would use Endymion hands down, and he's going to be able to get protection because now he can't be targeted or destroyed. Let's see what I banished. All 3 of my Whalings? Yeah, I banished all 3 of my Whalings. That kind of sucks. A Whaling would be nice, but we can still break the board without it. That's absolutely hands down. We can do that. So all I have to worry about now is just Appaloosa and Jackal King. So I'm going to activate Prison. Yeah, and it's unfortunate because Whaling really could have been a great search target. Honestly, it really could have been. But what I'll do is just, I'll go ahead and grab the Chamber. Ooh. You know what, honestly, I just had an idea. I'm thinking about getting him. So there's a play I have in mind where I'm thinking like, okay, so we can go basically normal summon Rakia. And what I can do is I can go battle phase, swing over the Jizukiru, and then Rakia attack into the Jackal King, and then Rakia dies. So then I can go Chainlink 1 Rakia, Chainlink 2 Abominable, or Chainlink 1 Abominable, Chainlink 2 Rakia. And I could basically summon out the Abominable, and basically I could play around Jackal King by forcing this to resolve or the Rakia to resolve. And what will end up happening is no matter what, I'll be able to get a body out. So if I did Abominable Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, and a Rakia Chainlink 1, then Abominable would be negated, obviously, and then Rakia will resolve, and basically I could summon out Disaster. And then I've dealt with everything, then I could use Disaster to take, for example, the Jackal King, link with it into my Link 3, and then I can link this into Abomination. It's just crazy. So that's a line of play that I could make, but either way, this could still come out of the deck regardless. So I'm thinking on what I want to search. So I'm thinking maybe I'm going to go for Abominable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and normal summon Rakia. And I'm going to go battle phase. I'm going to use Jizukiru to attack over the Oppo. And then use Rakia to go ahead and declare an attack on Jackal King. He's going to die. Then I'm going to attempt his effect, and Jackal King is going to negate it. Because I know what could come out. The 3k beater could come out. And then main phase 2, I'm just going to set the prison, or the trap, and reveal Rakia, destroy it. And then activate its effect in grave. And what I can do here is go for Sarama, my proxy Sarama. And I'll go ahead and basically activate her effect to set my Abominable. Or Abominable, yeah, Abominable, and then destroy Rakia. And then activate Rakia's effect, basically go into my Disaster. And then I'm going to activate the Disaster and go ahead and target the Jackal King and link summon with him. So he's going to go bye-bye. And I'm going to go into Soul of Rage. And at this point, I am locked into Fiends only. So it's unfortunate that he can't be targeted or destroyed. But actually, what's really cool, this board right here, like, I have bodies that are big enough. And I can also use my Soul of Rage on my opponent's turn, for example, to take this. And I could link into a Link 3 of my choice. So I can go into Anguish. I can outgrind them now. Or I can take this in the Sarama right now. And I can link them, for example, into the Anguish. And then I could use the Anguish to basically link with the Gamecill, for example, just playing out scenarios. I could link that and go straight up into Abomination. And now Endymion can't beat over any of these. And on my opponent's turn, I could, oh yeah, obviously in phase I could pop the scale. On my opponent's turn, I could attempt the Abominable Chamber of the Unchained. And basically I could try to bring out one of my Unchained monsters, which is something that's really cool. Now, I'm not sure on the rulings on whether or not it would be a card I control if Endymion negated destroyed, because it is, the activation is being negated, basically. Well, Endymion would have to bounce itself at that point. That's something that's really cool, too, in order for him to do that. So, basically, I took control of the game, and they're in a losing situation, and I'm in a winning situation, no matter what. So, even if Endymion had another card to bounce, just leaving him, he can't take care of any of these cards. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that this would no longer be a card I control if he negate the activation. So it wouldn't trigger my Abomination, which kind of is unfortunate. But Abomination and Jizukiru are just too much for Endymion alone. So we did basically break the board. And that's the most important part. It's not about, oh, what happens in the grind game. It's just, I just want to see, can this deck break a 6 negate board? Really, that's what it is. And Unchained did it on the first hand. Relatively easy, actually. It wasn't really too much There wasn't a lot of difficult thinking, or like I was like, okay, maybe, you know, but not even like there wasn't even like a requirement of, oh wow, let me plan this hand out. It was kind of easy, you know. That hand just, it was good enough to get me there. So let me go ahead and shuffle and draw another hand, and let's see, because honestly, like I said, Unchained really does have the potential to wreck boards like this without Super Poly, without Dark Ruler no more, without Lava Golem. I'm not saying that those cards aren't good, but those cards just make it so easy sometimes you don't even have to use skill, you don't have to really think. You're just like, Dark Ruler, I can play Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. People have relied so much on that card, like it's one of the most popular comments that I see online and things, like people like, oh, Dark Ruler. It's like, okay, are you going to draw it though? So that's 4. It's looking like pure Unchained cards right now, which isn't bad, but Appaloosa could really come back to bite us. So, yep, as expected, it's too many Unchained cards. And actually, let me see. Let me see here. Okay, so Rakia by himself could bait multiple negates. Because if I, for example, so I can set this, Rakia to target it. Now, if Appaloosa negates it, he stays on the field, so he doesn't float or anything. But at the same time, I could then just go to swing and then bait another negation. So he's going to bait multiple negates no matter what. It's just kind of like, dang. This is tough. This is definitely tough. And I have the chamber, so I have my trap, so I could potentially try to break the board on my opponent's turn. So let me see how this would play out. So if I attempted to reveal Aruha, I would use Jackal King to destroy it, because it has to be on field to get its floating effect, so that just takes care of it out of my hand completely. And I would probably chain Rakia to target my trap. Appaloosa would negate that, obviously. So Appaloosa is at 16 right now, which makes him still too big for Rakia to swing over him. And even though these are good, Vortex and Endymion can deal with both of these. Yeah, the hand just can't do it. I just drew, man. I needed to draw an Abominable Unchained Soul, their big 3K beater. That would allow me to chain block, because I could have just ran Rakia into something and then chainlink 1 Rakia, chainlink 2 the Abominable, or chainlink 1 Abominable, chainlink 2 Rakia, so I no matter what can get a play to go through. But we'll see. Basically, let's reset. So that hand couldn't do it. And it's not to be like, oh, every hand is supposed to do it. I mean, I would like if they could break it every time. But it's really to see, can the deck even do it in general, you know, without a Dark Ruler, without a Super Poly, without a Lava Golem, you know, without those conventional cards. Rakia just loves me today. The Trap, this is Sarama, the twin. Another double Rakia again. Okay, we drew Unchained Soul though, so we drew a pure Unchained hand. Okay, so let's see if we can pull this off. So I'd say first things first, set the Abominable. And obviously we would normal summon the Rakia. I would attempt to reveal Aruha. I would take care of that with the Jackal King hands down, so that it doesn't even get to float, and I don't get to, if you Appaloosa, I keep it in hand. That's just hand advantage. And if I Jackal King, it dies, but it has to be on, if this card on the field is destroyed by card effect or battle use special. So it's not gonna float in every way, shape, and form like how True Kings do. Because True Kings float just in general if they're destroyed by a card effect. So I think if I reveal and he negates it, I would chain Rakia targeting this. That would burn the Appaloosa. So then, okay, then I would go battle phase. Appaloosa is the smallest monster. I would declare an attack on Appaloosa, losing 100 life points, and then I would go chainlink 2 Rakia, chainlink 1 Abominable Unchained Soul, or chainlink 2 Rakia. Ooh, this is tough. This is super tough. So I'm thinking on my chainlink. So if I go chainlink 1 Abominable, it's gonna go off. Chainlink 2 Rakia gets negated by the Oppo. Then I bring out my Abominable, and then I can activate its effect if it's special summoned if I wanted to, and I could try to pop that trap, but obviously it would just be negated. and the vortex is still there. So then I could just, the Endymion doesn't have his counter right now. I have to reset that. And then basically, so I would have to swing over the Endymion. Dang, that's tough. But if I let Rakia resolve instead, I can get Unchained Soul of Disaster. That'll come out at 900. I could swing over the Appaloosa, main phase 2. Whew, this is tough, you guys. So I think Chainlink 2 Abominable might be smarter, because I can guarantee get out Unchained Soul of Disaster. Yeah, I can guarantee get out Unchained Soul of Disaster. That's one thing. Disaster is more important, I think, than him. So I would go Chainlink 1 Rakia, Chainlink 2 Abominable, Unchained. Appaloosa obviously would go ahead and take care of him. So he's going to stay in your hand. And then Rakia is going to resolve as Chainlink 1. I'll summon out the... Oh, dang. Summon out the... This is crazy! This is crazy. So I'll summon out the Disaster. Disaster is going to come out at... As a matter of fact, at this point... that's tough. That is so tough. Disaster doesn't even have enough attack. Because I could run into Appaloosa, right? And then it gets negated, and I can't. Even if I use his effect just to target to Link, Appaloosa could still negate that. I mean, it's a 3k body, so it's not just going to go anywhere. But then I would have to pass having that and this. Okay, I think that's the way to go then. So I would have to just summon this in defense, and I would have to just try to maintain my advantage, try to get a tempo swing somehow, some way. But these negates are not really going anywhere, so if I try to activate Chamber, it would definitely get negated. It's going to reborn a floater, so it would get negated. Once they deal with the Disaster, I could potentially do this. Chainlink 1 Soul, Chainlink 2 Disaster, Chainlink 2 to bring back a monster from grave. You know, they would negate that, and then this would come out, and then I would... It's like, it's still a losing situation. Like, I could bait more on my opponent's turn, but they're in a winning situation right there. So, whew. Man, if I drew Wailing, though, I definitely would have went that route, because then you could have utilized the Wailing. But dang, shoulda, coulda, woulda, nothing. That hand couldn't do it. It got a decent distance, I guess, the hand, so it was able to play through multiple interruptions. It played through 3 negates, but it couldn't play through the other 3, because this is a 6 negate board. This is kind of tough. Alright, so let's see what we can do with this one. So, Pancratops, okay. Alright, that's already 3 negates taken care of with 2 cards. We just need an Unchained combo now. Eccentric and a... Alright. Prison. So, no Unchained monsters, but this hand absolutely is going to destroy this board. We have Prison. I can search the monster if I need it. I have Desires to bait and negate. I have Eccentric. I have the Trap. Eccentric and the Trap is 2-card full combo. Prison's icing on the cake. Desires is icing on the cake. So what I would do here, the Omni negates the problem right now. So Kaiju the Vortex, because Vortex is just too strong, yo. It really is, and it's 3k booty. And then special the Pancratops. Activate Desires. Wow, this hand is actually good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Obviously, I'm negate because it's a going second deck, bro. I'm not letting you draw no more Kaijus, no more nothing. Let's just see what I lost. Speaking of a Kaiju, okay. Okay, I can live with that. I have, yeah, I still have all of those. I should be playing 3 Abominable Unchained Souls. So, and Endymion's going to go ahead and get his counter. So now, he's going to be a little bit more difficult to take care of. I can still beat over them, but they'll get their spell. But we're just trying to break this board. So, basically, yeah, we can go ahead and activate Prison freely. So, if I get Welling, okay, so let's say I get let's just say theoretically I get Welling, and then I Eccentric to pop this, and Scale Eccentric pop this, summon out my where's my boy at? Unchained Soul of Disaster, and basically go Pank, Battle Phase, Pank, attack over Oppo, bait Jackal King, main phase 2, use this to link with the Jackal King. Really the Kaiju's huge, so I'd probably link with the, either way, link with the Jackal King or the Kaiju, use the Unchain, the Wailing to pop another card, and at that point I'm basically sitting on my my Link 2 floater with the Wailing, and I could utilize the Link 2 on my opponent's turn to basically link, so I would probably pop the scale, so that way I could link with the Kaiju on my opponent's turn into my Link 3, and I could trigger the Wailing again to disrupt them. So I can absolutely deal with the board. So that's one way, but let's think about all the scenarios. Or I could just go Prison for Rakia. So I could go Prison for Rakia, so I'm just thinking, right? And so if I go Prison for Rakia, and I could basically go Battle Phase, attack, effect, tribute to pop, that will get negated by Jackal King. I could have this set so that I can use Rakia as a quick effect in Battle Phase to go ahead and pop this, summon out my Unchained Soul, the 3K beater, and pitch the Eccentric to pop the Kaiju and swing over the Endymion, then I break the whole board. That's what I'm gonna do. That's what I'm gonna do. Alright, so we're gonna go Prison for Rakia. Whoo! So Eccentric's just gonna be used as discard fodder. There was multiple ways to do it. I'm just thinking about the best case scenario. So then I'm gonna go normal summon Rakia, set this, Battle Phase, attack over Appaloosa. Pankratops tribute to pop. Chain Jackal King to negate it, so that Jackal King stays on the field. Still in Battle Phase, quick effect of Rakia. And this has been baited. So effect, target this, destroy it. And then effect of Chamber. Now I could go Disaster to basically link with one of their cards. But the thing is, by getting out my 3K beater, I basically can take care of 2 more threats. So what happens is, I summon this effect triggers to pitch my Eccentric. Eccentric then, not Eccentric, the Unchained Soul basically then would pop my next biggest threat. This is 3K beater, so I would probably pop the Kaiju, because this can be destroyed. And then I would probably attempt to swing into the Jackal King with the Rakia, so I can get out my floater, which would be my Unchained Soul of Disaster. And then I would utilize the Unchained Soul, the Abominable Unchained Soul, to attack over Endymion. They would get to search their spell, because he had a spell counter, their normal spell. And then main phase 2, I would activate Disaster to link with the Jackal King, and I would go into my Unchained Soul of Rage. So I broke the whole board. Alright, so then let's go ahead and reset, and let's go back and see if I can do that again. So, get my dice set up. I have it low for me, babe. Alright, so I'm going to reset and then see what else I can do. Now, while Kaijus are not as strong as Lava Golem or not as strong as Spear Mode or Dark Ruler no more, it's a little bit more fair, and it makes it a little bit more difficult for this deck to navigate, because you're only taking care of one threat when there's so many. So for me, I felt, okay, Kaijus are fair because also it's in the main deck anyways of the Unchained, but Lava Golems and Spear Modes and Super Poly are just like, and Dark Rulers, it's like, come on now, bro. Like, those, naturally, it's really hard to play around those, and it makes it too easy. Then I don't really have to think that hard on breaking the board. I could just be like, Super Poly those 2, attack over that, you know, bait 1 negate, and then clear the board. So let's see. This might be the last one, so I can have memory left, so I can do Necros and Herald of Perfection, breaking a 6 negate board. So let's see. Okay, we drew, that's a brick. We drew evenly for the first time. We drew Eccentric. We drew Escape, so that's a 2-card combo as long as we can bait the negates. Prison, that can bait a negate. Double Disaster. So this is a brick hand. I might have to do another one. So what I would do here is I would activate the Prison. Now, Endymion would negate that. Prison's pretty strong, and just being able to search the 3K beater means I could chain block. Now, me knowing how Unchained works, I negate Prison. Because if I don't, and he gets to search out the 3K beater, and somehow finds a way to chain block the way I did against him, bringing out the 3K beater, it's just going to be too problematic. So, Endymion negates that. The next thing that I would do is go ahead and I would activate Eccentric and scale. Now this is a very unfortunate thing for the Pendulum player, because now if they just hardcore burn their Vortex on the Eccentric, it's kind of like, dang. Like that's really, really tough, because you just burned your negate on an Eccentric. So it's like, dang. And you know, it's like a hindsight, okay, he could potentially pop one of his back rows and then bring out one of their floaters. So if he does that, it's like, dang, he could get out the 3K beater. The 3K beater could then just basically swing over the Appaloosa or the Jackal King, or he could get out the Disaster, which he doesn't know both are in my hand, get out the Disaster and just bait more negations. So me playing against this, it's like, dang, this is a tough spot, because I could totally let Eccentric resolve, but I can't negate effects. I can only negate activations with Vortex. So the problem then becomes, if I have any Unchained back row and I pop it with Eccentric, then I just get out a free 3K beater for no reason, and that 3K beater can basically just swing right over the Appaloosa. It's just going to be a problem now, because I don't have anything big enough to beat over it, and it's going to take care of a lot of my resources. So this is like really, really tough. So activating Eccentric, I probably wouldn't negate the activation. I would set this back row, Eccentric pop the back row, effect of the back row. Okay, and let's go ahead and bring out, not the Abominable Unchained, because if I think about it, it can still be negated and destroyed by Vortex. So if it's negated and destroyed by Vortex, it's not a problem. I mean, it can be negated by the, if it gets negated by the Appaloosa though, it's like, dang, then you can just, yeah, this is a problem. So I would probably have to use the Vortex to negate and destroy it, so it's not a 3K body to get rid of. Because they don't really know, again, this is realistic, they don't know I have evenly. So I'm summoning out Soul, I'm pitching Disaster, it does not target, so it's like, dang, okay, I need to respond. Vortex, negate, and destroy to get the body off the field, or better yet, Jackal King, that's more realistic. Jackal King, negate and destroy, then I activate evenly, Vortex negates the evenly, and then I lose. The Unchained player loses. So let's reset the game state. So Pendulum's definitely won that one, and I think everything was played correctly and fair. Because I'm over here talking about Vortex, Jackal King just negates and destroys the Abomination, the Abominable Unchained Soul. What you making, Milo? You heard me, babe? Oh, okay.
Watermelon on there.
Alright, so let's do one more for Unchained, because they're doing a pretty good job. Please don't let me draw double Rakia. So that's Saroma, my proxy. Desires. Ooh, whoops, that's one too many. Ooh, it would have been nice if that Gamut would have been the 6, but it's the 7. So I think this hand's capable too. Like, Unchained draws a lot of capable hands. Really, they're always going to be able to play through multiple interruptions. That's just how the deck is. It's like, it's really good. So okay, so what I would do here, Desires, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm preventing them from drawing evenly or Kaijus by negating it with Endymion, and I'm giving myself protection and a recovery play by searching a spell. So me, the Pendulum player, would definitely negate the Desires. Even if they have another one or another card, the thing is, I'm stopping them from drawing into their going second card, stopping them from drawing evenly or a Kaiju, you know, things of that nature. And I get my spell counter, I get my protection. Now if I die by battle, which is pretty much the only way I'm dying, I'm going to get my spell. So I'm negating that with Endymion. Now the next thing that I would do here is I would normal Rakia, set my trap. I would go ahead. Ooh, wait. Let me think about this, because I have it evenly in my hand. So if I just go Rakia effect. So if I go Rakia attack crash in the battle phase evenly, Vortex negate. So let me think this through. Because I see it. But if I just go flat out battle phase evenly, Vortex negates the evenly, then I'm left with.
Put that in the room of paper and let them watch the thing real quick, okay? So I get over there. You hear me?
Escape and Wailing Ah, dang, this is tough.
Careful.
This is tough. This is why I like 3 of this guy. Is he in the banish zone? Is any of him? Okay, he's not. But that's why I like the 3K beater, the Unchained Soul. Drawing him for turn is actually nuts. Okay, so... I'm just going to activate the Evenly to bait the Vortex. So I no longer have my battle phase. In phase 2, I would summon the Rakia, set my trap. Yeah. Attempt Rakia targeting, Oppo burns that. And then I just have the Wailing. The thing is, once this floater dies, it's going to get negated and destroyed. Now I could, if they attempt something, but no matter what, this is just a losing situation. So, yep. So Unchained couldn't do it for that one, and that's going to go ahead and be the end of the video. It would be nice to end it on a high note, but I think this video is getting to be a little bit too long. Let me check this out real quick. Yeah, it's 31 minutes. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content. I'm going to say a quick prayer before we get out. If you don't want to hear the prayer, just skip this part. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Jesus. Thy kingdom come, and thy will be done on earth, just as it is in heaven. Please give us this day our daily bread, Lord, and please forgive us of our debt as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, Father, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the glory, and the power. In the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Hallelujah. Amen. All right. Peace out, yo.